Okay, let's have this conversation. I started having this conversation over there on Facebook and in the YouTube community. I haven't even really looked in the YouTube community to see what anybody said, but I did look over there in the Facebook community. I don't even know. I didn't even look on Twitter what Twitter said. But anyway, I just want to get it out of my head. And for me, and probably for other commentators, your social media post and your Facebook live button and your YouTube live button is probably your best friend when it comes to situations like this, because you're able just to get up there and just talk to those that follow you and just get stuff out of your head. So I'm just gonna think out loud and on camera and say what I'm thinking at the moment as it relates to what has happened. For those of you that do not know, Gayle King, who's Oprah Winfrey's friend, that's really how we were introduced to her. She works for CBS. She done an interview with Lisa Leslie, WNBA star. And in that interview, well, the interview was really long. Well, I'm not gonna say long. It was longer than the 3.5 minutes that the whole world is talking about, scrutinizing, and some of us tripping over them. And CBS decided to put up a clip from that interview. And in that interview, she asked a question and she brought up the conversation concerning Kobe Bryant's death, his contribution, but she also focused on the part of his life that is about over 15 years old. I think it was in 2003 when some things went down when a woman accused him of committing a crime against her. Okay, so in doing that, she came like 2 or 3 times at Leslie. In my opinion, it looked as though, from a journalistic standpoint, that, and I'm not a journalist, I'm just a commentator. And let me go ahead and say this: we don't have to agree. We don't have to. Larry Live, the platform, and you need to be watching every Monday night at 7 p.m. Um, we can discuss and talk about however we feel, in a respectful way. From a journalistic standpoint of view, I think that she was. I do this a lot on my platform. I think she was trying to clear the conversation because, mind you, those of you that follow different outlets, this was a conversation that was already going on. People were already, I mean, immediately, not in 24 hours later. I remember seeing a Washington Post, I think it was. People were already talking about the allegations and bringing them up. It's just the pattern of media. And the reality is that every media outlet, every commentator, every journalist, doesn't try to practice fair media. What I try to do on my platform, first of all, what I bring to my platform, I saw a comment said to my something they saw on my page wasn't true. You a lie? No. If I ever happen to post something that's not true, I'm going to come back and tell you it won't true. They totally lying. They just butt hurt because whatever conversation I had about somebody they love, which is sort of the situation that we're in. And so that's one of the reasons why I try to practice fair media. So if I'm going to tell the accuser, Gayle called the female the victim, which, I understand why she said that, because she said she was a victim. But I've started using the term accuser because it's calling somebody a victim. You sort of verify their story without consideration for the other side. She called the lady the accuser. One of the reasons why I try to practice fair media is and tell both sides and not just tell the side of the accuser, is and to also speak for the other side, the opposing side, or the other part of the story, or the other truth, is because your platform it impacts and people watch what you do and the conversation that you create. So the conversation was already happening. And I want everybody to know that. I'm sure some of you guys know that. The conversation was already popping off. Not by black media or black anchors or black journalists. This was coming up from our other brothers and sisters. And I want everybody to really wrap your mind around that, especially all of you with these different theories, of these Gayle and Oprah's been used like puppets by white Hollywood to paint black men in Hollywood, in media, negatively. Bill Cosby, Michael Jackson, Russell Simmons, and what have you. Um, so, if anything, this was an opportunity for, I'm not going to say if anything, I'm going to say, let's just consider the possibility that they had had a conversation prior. We haven't heard anything from Leslie. I haven't seen anything from Lisa Leslie. And she said, this is the question that I'm going to ask. Take this opportunity to speak from your heart. I have to ask this question because it's in the media. Sometimes I use those situations to clear or to bring things to a clearance. And the reality is that it's very possible, and we have to consider that Bennett was already popping off in the media, that maybe Gayle was using that opportunity to clear it and trying to do it in an unbiased way, because she just didn't bring it up and let her make a statement. She brought it up and she was being objective to what Lisa Leslie was saying, and she done that twice after she asked the initial question. And I understand from both sides that there's a possibility and need to be a consideration that maybe she was bringing this up in the way that she had heard it being discussed, so that there can be a clearance, there can be an answer. And I think Lisa Leslie was absolutely, I don't know if somebody fed her answer, or if Gayle told her how to answer, or if her publicist with her told her how to answer, or if she even knew the questions were coming prior. But this chick answered these questions. I mean, it cleared it, because I bet you anybody that's going to discuss anything concerning those 2003 allegations, they're going to be careful how they discuss them. More so probably because of what's blowing up around Gayle King. But had we not got sort of locked into that, and it needed to be addressed, I think that anybody that they were setting the precedents for how to discuss and that part of his life. Because, I mean, we love him and he was great for our community, but you have to discuss his whole life at some point. Now, this is what I'm going to say concerning Gayle King, and I said this before, but I'm going to say it again just in case somebody got it, and I know you guys are having your conversation down there. I think that it was absolutely the wrong time. I don't really know if there's ever going to be a right time to have that conversation about a man who is deceased. But sometimes those things come up on my show, during the church mess. We've had to discuss Bishop Eddie Long, I don't know how many times, and he's dead and gone. But we've had to discuss him several different times. And every time I'm careful how I discuss him, because not only was he a black leader, and there's a lot of good that he did here in the city of Atlanta, but at the same time, he's deceased. And I know his family, his friends, his staff do some possibly watch the platform. So I just want to handle it in a certain kind of way. And sometimes doing this kind of job, you have to. We saw that with Oprah. She did with the Michael Jackson thing. And we've seen this with quite a few different people. Now, so I do want to be clear in saying that I think this was just not the proper time to have this conversation. I would say that to Gayle and all of the other outlets prior to her that were discussing it and bringing it into question, I think that wasn't really a good time to have that conversation. I think we'll wait a little piece, and I really don't even know if there would ever be a good time to discuss that, because we're talking about an alleged sex crime that he got off of because the witness did not come and test the darn file. But what we did see from Kobe as a result of that 2003, which I think should be a conversation at some point in time, how this black man made a mistake and how he disrespected his black queens. I think one of his children was born at the time. And he owned his part of the mistake and of his wrong, and then apologized, not just to Vanessa, but to the whole world, and made a change. Now that needs to be discussed. Absolutely. because we need to see that example over and over to again in our community, because y'all know a whole lot of these black men have been getting it wrong for one reason or the other. And opposed to us calling a lot of them on the carpet, we just make excuses for it and even sometimes blame the woman, the accuser, or the victim, how you want to put it. So if you must discuss 2003 Gayle, if you must discuss 2003 Washington Post and the others, then let's discuss it in light of how from that moment on, after he owned it, he totally changed his entire life. He went from, and I'm just speaking from the outside looking in, it looks to me he looked from valuing his contribution to the world beyond the scope of entertainment and running behind a basketball and putting it in some nets. He began to see, in my opinion, from that point, that I have global reach and influence, and I'm also an example. So let me now use this opportunity to instruct on what you're supposed to do with influence, with money, and with fame. Let me instruct how to be a black father, how to come up from a mess up. Let's talk about that. And, if we must discuss it, let's discuss it in that light. So I say that to Gayle. I say that to everybody prior to her. I think everybody's going to do this, post this. Now listen to this here. First of all, everybody mad, including Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, the cussing preacher, Little Boosie. I think everybody is upset because of the happening. It's tragic, it's chaotic, it's sudden. It's tragic, it's chaotic, and it's sudden. And there's still so many unanswered questions. How in the whole hell and heaven did this here happen? You just fell out the sky. Where's the black box? Where's the cockpit audio recording? Why? It appears that there was some miscommunication between them and air traffic control. Why was the choices made? Why in the whole hell and the heaven would you up fly into Dernway? All of that stuff. Why God, the child, when Gigi had all of her life before and what she wanted to do? Why I can't think how to say it, Antebellum, I don't know how to say their name, I can't even remember it. The rest of the families. Why the ones left behind and have to deal with this? So there's a whole lot of anger and upsetness. I know that ain't no word. It is today. A whole lot of anger and a whole lot of upsetness. Y'all know what I'm talking about, because you've had a lot of upsetness all at the same time. A whole lot of upsetness. Upset about that, upset about that, upset about that, upset about that, upset because this here, upset because that's here, upsetness. If you understand that, I got a whole lot of degrees, but I'm country. And the upsetness is real. Have y'all experienced upsetness? Yes. And for most of us men, we get upsetness first, then sad. A whole lot of women, to be sad, then they go and say, I hate you. Then they go back to sad and they process it. But most of us, we with our words, and maybe even with our hands. And then we finally get over to the upset. So a whole lot of upsetness around all of this here. Need a little blunt. However you process your pain, might drink a little piece or whatever. Go eat. That's how I do mine. But anyway, so we understand the upsetness and the anger and the frustration coming out of Snoop and all of you guys in those comments concerning what Gayle asked. Get it. Got it. That was a whole lot. At the wrong time. Gayle, it was not the right time. That was not the right time for that question. So somebody said, well, Reid, when is the right time? I don't know if there ever was a right time, but I know not now. And that's basically what Lisa Leslie said. She said, For right now, at the moment, I think media needs to be more sensitive and da-da-da-da-da. Got it. So then after that happened, we began to see black Twitter and every other Twitter going off online. And one of the things that we begin to see is black athletes, celebrities, and stars speaking out and saying certain things, making posts. I mean, all of our black leaders. And one of the black leaders that seemed like what he said was heard around the world was Snoop Dogg. Now, I'm talking out loud. I'm thinking out loud is what I mean. I'm thinking out loud. So just let me go through the thoughts that I'm having. And you do the same thing in the comments. Make sure everybody hit like and share. I want everybody in on the conversation in these comments. I'm going through these comments and we're going to talk. All right. All right. So let's just play it. Let's just play it. Let's 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 play what he said. And I think even this has the custom preacher and what he said on it. Okay, so let's get into this here. Let me go to it. See if I can find it. I got it on my page. Okay, it is. I'm about to mash play. Because I made it a whole movie. So we're going to get to what he said. Okay, here it is.
Gayle King, out of pocket for that shit. Way out of pocket. What do you gain from that? I swear to God, we the worst. We the fucking worst. We expect more from you, Gayle. Don't you hang out with Oprah? Why y'all attacking us? We your people. You ain't coming after fucking Harvey Weinstein asking them dumbass questions. I get sick of y'all. I want to call you one. Is it okay if I call him one? Funky dog head bitch. How dare you try to tarnish my motherfucking homeboy's reputation, punk motherfucker. Respect the family and back off, bitch, before we come get you.
Okay, now, all right. So let's look at let's look at his why. The why of what Snoop said. Why did Snoop say what he said? Y'all want to see if y'all gonna answer. I'm gonna read off what you answer. Why did Snoop say what he said? Make it pretty short. Why did Snoop say what he said? Because it was his friend. Okay, and that's true. Why did Snoop say what he said? Because he was caught off guard. Okay, so it was passion response. He said it because of anger. He said it because of anger. He was fed up. All right. Kids were born that didn't need to hear that. Okay. Respect the family. All right. He was grieving. Okay, so let me see this out. So the why, we can't, I don't think we can, there's no wrong in Snoop's why. There is no wrong in it. I don't know if somebody can be wrong for how they feel. I'm still exploring that at about to be 42 years old next week. I'm still exploring the idea of somebody being wrong for how they feel. Right now in this seat, as I sat right here in my car, I don't know if anybody could ever be wrong for their feelings. I don't know. Somebody say he was high. I don't know. I don't think so. As I sit right here, I'm gonna make a blanket statement saying nobody can be wrong for how they feel. And I don't think we should be in the practice of making anybody wrong for how you feel. So Snoop's why was not and cannot be wrong. It just cannot. It cannot be wrong. Just look at that. Number one. Now let's flip it over. Since we've been talking about Gayle, let's look over there at Gayle's why. And we have to consider what she said her why was. And I'm considering what Snoop said his why was because I listened to him speak after this. Her why is media, job, journalistic integrity. Um, that's her why. Okay. I don't see any wrong in anybody's why. I don't see. Do you see any wrong? Let me look and see what you're saying. If we have to take what they say and what we know for a fact. Well, we don't really know for a fact, but we have to take what they say their why is. I don't see anything wrong with Snoop's why. I don't see anything with Gayle's why. What they say, or what we are believing is their why. I don't see anything wrong with their why. Yeah, Kimberly Riley, I listened to that. His why was he was upset. There was a couple of whys. Another why he said was because it seems as though he said he was speaking the feelings of the people. Somebody said, I believe Gayle's why was strategic. No, I heard what she said. I got what she said. Her why was because it's her job. Her why was because that's what journalists do. You guys know that. We all know that. That's what journalists do. Even Snoop mentioned that. He said, if you're going to do the journalistic thing, do it fair. And that's when he brought into the conversation about Harvey Weinstein. He brought into the conversation about Oprah's, one of her spiritual teachers. I think his name was Charles. We're assuming it is. And he's in jail for 19 years for some kind of sexual kind of going on. So he's saying at least be fair. If you're going to do Jackson, if you're going to do Russell Simmons, then let's do Charlie. What's that? Charlie Sheen with HIV. They say he's spreading it to people and forcing himself on people, allegedly. So he was saying be fair. So I'm clear as I can be on the why of Snoop and the why of Gayle. I don't think either one of their whys are wrong. Now let's get into what was wrong. And we do know that wrong is relative. So I'm just talking out loud. So let's go with that. And I'm looking at the comments as well. Yeah, Charlie Rose. Okay, so let's look at about what was wrong. So we're really looking for the how. So we already see the why. Nobody's why is wrong. Let's look at the how they went about it. Okay, we already know Gayle's how was wrong. How she went about her why. It was the wrong time. How did Gayle go about her why? It was the wrong time. I don't know if there's ever gonna be a time wrong. That's what I say. Let's look at Snoop. You threatened her to come after her. You called her a bitch and a punk. Okay, how you went about your why? Wrong, Snoop. I don't want to hear nothing about no we what. You were wrong. Gayle, shut up. How you went about your why and how you went about your why. I'm talking to Gayle and I'm talking to Snoop. Snoop is over here and Gayle over here. How you went about your why, Snoop, and how you went about your why, Gayle, wrong. Both of you. What both of you did set black folk back. You exposed a great black man that we like to some kind of scrutiny at a time when his wife and his children need to be grieving, and we need to be talking about all the good stuff right now. That was not good for black folk and black influencers and entertainers. We already got enough. It's hard in the industry. You shouldn't have brought it up right now. And Snoop, the way you talked our black queens and you call her a punk and a bitch, and then you threatened her talking about we gonna come for you, that ain't right. Both of y'all had it hard in the industry. You, Gayle, and Snoop, you both had it hard coming up in the industry as black people. And then y'all gonna do... This really is rich black folk problems. I ain't got no business talking about now one of y'all, but I am since I got a platform. Now one of y'all done right by the community and owe us an apology for that part. Not your why, but your how. Because what y'all doing is teaching all of us. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. That's what I think. That's what I think. We can't say that it's about ratings for Gayle. She's not in control of that. Control of that at all. At all. She already done got paid. This has to do with ratings. If for anybody, it could be CBS. Right. Them house is wrong. You said it just like the way I was saying. Them house was wrong. That's just what it is. And sometimes that's why I come on live and just talk and think out loud. Because the reality, and so we can get through all of the fluff and all of the angry energy, and and we all can do that. You get mad at something, and then you just blanket everything over here. You love something, you blanket over it. And sometimes it's good just to look at it and balance it out and talk it through. And the reality is that neither one of their whys were wrong. But how they went about their why, they both are wrong. Wrong as two left shoes. They are. And it's all right to say that. And it's all right to speak that out of your mouth and say that if that's what you think. It's also all right for you to say, I don't agree with that, and call one right, one wrong. I mean, it's all relative anyway. But when we look at how I judge stuff, is it bringing harm? Who is it bringing harm to? And how both of them went about their why brings harm to somebody. And I can't be okay with anybody being harmed. Even there are times when I do a story and I have to speak about what is going on. I know because my platform is what it is, it's going to blow it up. So there are going to be people that are going to be hurt. I consider those people who did not know that their pastor was nasty and was doing what they were doing with 4, 5, 6 different folk, and some of them is 10 to 9 years old. That's I think about that. I don't be so locked into one portion of that. I think about how's that gonna affect, especially if that pastor got grandkids and kids, they're gonna be embarrassed. I get it. I get that. That's why I try to be fair in media, because media is always gonna amplify the man, whatever he or she got going on. And I do realize that. But yeah, I looked at both of their. Shut up! I done told you, Gayle. Hush! You talk too much. That's all I'm gonna do. Look at you, Snoop. I how both of them went about their why won't right. It just won't, and I can't sign off on none of it. I just not no. I can't. No. But something else I want to say. Because somebody else will be like, no, Snoop was just upset. He said what he said. I get what you're saying. Because I do understand that world. Snoop is in a culture and in a world I don't have. I'm not in that world. They can call women those names and make those kind of threats. We're going to come see about you. And they just understand he's just upset right now. Okay, that's fine. But there are people that aren't in that world like me, and they see that as demeaning, horrible. I do understand that. And I do understand when people are upset, they say things. I get that too. I get that. And I can see, well, even when I've been my most upset with the women in my life, I ain't calling them no B or no punk and then threaten to come see by them. But to each their own. But I can see if Gayle was acting like a B in another situation and said, you're really acting like a B. Defining how she's acting. Or if Gayle got her legs open for men all around about the world and he called her a hoe. Okay, he's describing, that she's whoring, But then calling names and speaking words that folk call you upset. You B? You ain't nothing but a punk. Punk mother. Get on my nerves. Tired of your. I mean, just cussing somebody out is one thing, but then you start calling them names, and from a male to a female, to me, that's abusive. And I can't sign off on that. You might didn't punch her in her face, but that's verbal abuse. I know. And we can't, I don't think it's okay. And that's really the reason why. And then at the same time, I can't help but consider, okay, let's look at what both of you guys have contributed to our community. Gayle and Snoop, my with the open there, have contributed so much to the black community when it comes to the good that they have done for young men. I got Snoop got that whole football, what's my name thing he got going on. They've done great things, but at the same time, we have to consider Gayle Oprah, y'all ain't done nothing. Y'all ain't done no documentaries and stuff on enough white folk. You be doing too many black folk. And Snoop, you can't say too much the way that in your music you had called these women, you called them your hoes and your bees, and objectify them. We got to consider that too. Y'all made some contributions that ain't, although Snoop, I think yours is worse. You made some contributions that ain't that nice to the community. I mean, I'm just thinking out loud. All right, I think I'm through. I'm gonna see what you're saying. He better hope nothing happens to Gayle. And that can easily happen because there are people that follow Snoop who about that life. Yeah, making pimping a way of life for women. Yeah, He was talking to how Snoop talk, and okay, I can't say that. I don't agree with trying to wait till a person is dead and go and disparage their name. Okay. Yeah, Snoop does not. From the outside looking at, Snoop doesn't seem as though he respect his wife. This wife, excuse me, this little girl, I can't think of her name. She done came out with some more stuff concerning Snoop and stuff. You already know it was like 2 years ago. That he was out there doing what he was doing. On his wife of umpteen years, wife of his youth. He wasn't threatening her physically. Okay, well, what did he mean then? Because he said, we're going to come see about you. I don't know what you, sounds like. Yeah, Selena Powell. I don't know what you call that. Larry, sometimes I think you talk out of both sides of your mouth. Gayle right, Gayle wrong. Snoop right, Snoop wrong. Which one is it? Myra, I don't know who you are, but if you had listened to me, I talked about how neither one of them were wrong for their why, but how they went about their why, they both was wrong. I thought that was pretty clear. I had to put Larry on my TV on YouTube. Hey, everybody in the house, y'all cleaned up. Y'all clean up this house. You got me on your TV. No, China Doll, you didn't have to take away her comment. I mean, I don't think it was mean. She just said what she thought. That won't mean. Y'all, these moderators don't be playing. That's how he communicates. Yeah, I believe that is how Snoop communicates. But there's nothing wrong with us having an opinion about anybody's how. And I just think it was raggedy. Snoop speaks hood. He wasn't physically threatening. Yeah, okay. Can you bring Bishop Jordan to the show, teach on Taruma? Yes, I am going to do that. I talked to him about that last week. Okay, greatest ever, somebody you're ragging. But this is something what I realized. Things like this when it happened, even like the death of Kobe and how, what's that, Ari responded, that comedy. When certain stuff happened, it really start revealing how people are. Man, I don't even know if we can really be surprised anymore. I mean, because we just didn't know people were like the way they was. I don't know if they're doing it because they're behind the keyboard. I don't know if they're doing it because they're not face to face, and so they have some kind of cyber courage. But if what I'm saying online is the truth, we in a bad way as far as humanity is concerned. Cause we in a bad way. And on some level, it got to be who we are. All these stories we're coming out with, these folk doing these heinous crimes to each other. Yeah, we're in a bad way. All right, I'm gone. I'll see you later. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.